basketball, Ale, and it's the best sporting show in all of the universe. It's news in Central Sports, airing of course on the Band Radio Scope and Talk TV on Amazon TV. Fantastic week so far. AFCON has been buzzing. Olale has been giving me the latest gist about AFCON. A lot of things that we need to talk about. A couple of things that we need to talk about in AFCON. The tournament itself, of course. Australian Open is back. And what else do we have? We have a little bit of basketball to talk about. And of course, Jose Mourinho has been sacked yet again. They said he went from being the special one to the sacked one. These and more will be touching base on as we go through the journey. But I'd like my co-hosts to introduce themselves. I'll start with Olatunji.
Good day, everyone. My name is Alatunji, and it's lovely to be here again to talk sports as usual. And yeah, you know, enjoy the best of company.
All right, perfect. Olale.
Yeah, good day, sporting fans around the world. It's a big weekend of football. The AFCON is into its ninth day, and I think for the first time, okay, this is the 24th game, the South African game, and we've not had any goalless any match ending without a goal in the AFCON, which is probably remarkably because I can tell you before, if you check the previous AFCON tournament, probably except for 2004 in Tunisia, before you count, like in the first 10 games, you will have probably seen like 3 or 4 goalless draws. But this is different, and it makes it very, very attractive to the viewers. And we've seen some very crazy goals too. We delve into that as we discuss football and Major League Basketball today.
All right, perfect. Of course, we'll be starting with basketball. I know most of our fans don't like us talk about basketball. They prefer to hear about the soccer part of things. But we'll start with basketball today, as a matter of fact. And it's a crazy one. Pascal Siakam has actually done us terrible. Done us terrible in Toronto by not signing the contract extension, and of course we've lost couple of guys. I know Anobi has left, traded a couple of guys to the New York Knicks as well. So the team looks like a rejig right now. Siakam going to the Pacers looks like personally, I would have preferred him to go to maybe Dallas Maverick. I want to see a more competitive side, especially in the West, But going to the Pacers is a change of dynamics for me, as a matter of fact. And Alali will allude to that because he knows how I feel about Tyrese Haliburton. A good trade for the Indiana Pacers. Olali, I'm going to start with you on this one. How does it change the dynamics for the Pacers? This trade itself. I know it's a 3-3 trade, 3-way trade, but how does it change the dynamics for the Pacers?
Okay, so for the Pacers, on paper, it makes them better. But I think the question we should be asking ourselves is how much better?
Mm-hmm.
Does it make them better than the Celtics? I don't think so.
No.
Does it make them better than what do you call it? The Milwaukee Bucks? Probably not.
No.
Yeah, does it make them closer to the Philadelphia 76ers? Probably yes. I think we need to wait to see because I think it gives them a player who can create his own shots, a player who can play in the interior, who can play very close to the basket. It gives them another different option.
Dimension.
And it makes their front court a much bigger with Milestone. What's the game? Is it Milestone? The big guy that played their center position.
Uh-huh.
So when it gets to clutch moments in big games, I think it frees up a little bit of space for Tyrese Haliburton. So I think we need to stay there in some couple of games, but I don't think it's probably elevate them above the major contenders. Probably it could secure them. It could secure them. Probably of course, I think they'll make the playoff. Probably they might end up in the 4th or 5th. What do you call it? Position in the Eastern Conference. Like I said, slightly better than what they were before. But
Uh-huh.
again, the bigger question is, I don't think it it makes them a better team than
Than
the
the major contenders.
major contenders.
Yeah, yeah. Siakam is not that, it's not that elite anyway. So, but it just gives them a little bit of hedge as against what where they are coming from. Well, Olati, do you agree with Olawale? I feel the same. But do you agree with Olawale?
Yeah, yes, completely. I mean, if it doesn't make you, if the value you're bringing on board doesn't exactly put you in the same space as the contenders, then I really don't think it's a big deal. However, you need to understand too that some of these traits are not for the immediate benefits, right? It's probably them
Yeah.
just trying to keep up as against what's going to happen in the next couple of years as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So we, I mean, it's natural for us to feel like we need to get some immediate impact. We need to see what's going to happen immediately,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
the
mm-hmm.
current season. But I would think that they, of course, don't think. I mean, the Pacers are not thinking because they got him on board and then they're going to become contenders. I mean,
No
it's
way.
not in that
No way.
space. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. No.
I would personally think that it's something they've done for future
Purposes.
purposes, exactly, to say, okay, in the nearest future, this is how we want the team to look like. So we want someone in this kind of with this kind of play style,
Please,
and then
yeah.
we just probably find someone to complement him, or he's going to probably complement someone else. Yeah, but
Someone.
I think it's a good addition for them, regardless.
Yeah, and of course to a ruminating issue that people have been talking about, the Timberwolves, the Minnesota Timberwolves. People have been saying, "Oh, are they true contenders?" People have been saying, "Oh, let's wait a little bit. They are still pretenders. They are going to fold up at the playoffs. The Utah Jazz did it a couple of seasons ago. Blah blah blah." Like, okay, yeah, we've seen the antecedents of situations like this, but looking at the core of the team, those three guys, I look at them and honestly, for me personally, bar the Clippers that have a kind of bias for, bar the Clippers, I don't think anybody wants to take those guys on a 7 game series. I don't think anybody wants to play them. If you can avoid them, you want to avoid those boys on a seven, and everybody's LD. Both team are LD. Um, Take for instance that they are playing against the Denver Nuggets. It's not like the Nuggets are missing Jamal Murray. Everybody's fine at the Nuggets. Nuggets would not want to face the Timberwolves. Olale, I don't know if you share my sentiment. Like, for me, and I know I said this last week as well, that if I'm in the West, for instance, I won't want to play the Clippers on a 7 game series. I won't want to do that. When the chicken comes to Russell, then maybe when I don't have a choice, I will. But if I have the choice, I won't want to play them because I know over a 7 game series, they'll probably beat me. And I'm talking for the whole of the West right now. And I strongly feel, I certainly share a little bit of that sentiment for the Timberwolves as well. I don't know if you think that as well, especially if
Of,
Anthony Edwards, Katz, and Rudy Gobert are there.
of course, they are expected to be there. They are on top of a very difficult and very competitive Western Conference for a reason. They've won 30 games and they've lost 12. They are just a game ahead of the, what do you call it, the Oklahoma City Thunders. I think uh, the West, when it gets to the playoff, to an extent, I don't really think the standings will matter. Whether you are one seed, you are two seed.
To
I
see it.
just think in a 7 game series, it's a different thing entirely. I think the Timberwolves are very good. My only major concern for them is their half-court offense. When the game slow down, their ability to create shots is not as elite as the other big teams. Defensively, they are very good. Anthony Edwards is good. Uh, the
Rudy Gobert.
Jaden McDaniels is very good. Rudy Gobert is there. Carl Antonio Town, probably not the most elite defenders, but of course, he brings in that what do you call it? That physical
Extra
presence.
dynamics. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I just think what they really need to work on, and because when it gets to playoffs, things slows down. The referees swallow their whistle when
Yeah.
games get
Yeah.
very close. That your
Yeah.
ability, and that's where the Denver Nuggets are very, very dangerous. They are the best the half court offense team in the NBA. When
Mm,
everything slows down, they are Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray two-man game is probably one of the best in the is probably the best in the NBA today. So I think for Timberwolves, yes, they are number, like I said, they are number one for a reason, but I think they need to, what works a lot in the playoff, sometimes, especially when games are very close, is your half court
of
offense.
course,
Your
of
ability
course.
to create shots, ability to create quality shots when everybody is set. It's not when both teams are going at up and down, and you are
Yeah,
seeing more space
transition.
for
Yeah,
you to create.
to
But
capitalize.
this
Yeah,
exactly this time, everybody is set. You have to be able to figure out or to act to
do something out of
exactly
nothing.
out of nothing. So I think that's my own major concern when it comes to the Timberwolves.
All right. TG, I'm going to come to you on this one. I know you have your own opinion about this, as a
Yeah.
matter of fact. And I look at the Lakers. I know we discussed this last week, Malali, but we have to come back to it. You see the Lakers playing against the Mavs. I'm like, oh, okay, the Mavs are gonna kill them. They won against the Mavs. Played the next game against OKC. OKC has been flying high, like flying real high. The defense. I was watching the KG podcast, and PP was saying, yo, for him, Shea Alexandra is the MVP in the NBA so far this season for him. So that goes to show you that the OKC have been playing at an elite level. The key cheat is he has been wonderful. You know what I'm saying? And you see the Lakers beating that kind of team. And next thing they are playing against the Brooklyn Nets and they are losing by 12 points, maybe more against the Nets. I'm like, okay, what exactly is happening here? And I know we discussed it. Is it a coaching problem? Is is there a problem of, I don't know, a problem of lack of motivation? We already won the eight season tournaments. Okay, at least we've achieved something for the season. We can rest on our horse right now, or but you offered a different dynamics to it. You see, and I want you to tell us about that insight. I don't want to let the bag out of the card before you do that.
Well, I mean, you could say it could be a lot of things, to be honest, right? And it's always difficult to exactly say this is what the problem is.
Don't be
But
scared. You antagonize LeBron. I want you
wait
to start
now,
from.
I'll tell you now. I'm just trying to say that it could be a lot of factors. But you see, for me, I don't think they have a very good roster at the moment. I don't think they have the best of players at the moment. You see, yeah, LeBron is still playing top basketball, to be honest, right? And it makes it difficult for anybody to say, oh, he really shouldn't be in that team anymore. But if I run that organization, right, I would probably be easing LeBron out of that team. Because what happens at times is, I mean, I gave you scenarios as regards tennis and how it works.
Yeah,
There are players on that team who probably are not even playing to their best because they just don't exactly feel, they are needed anymore. And the easiest way I put it was LeBron is not in that era where he could move a team from 20 to 100 anymore. I don't think he's in that era. The things he did at Cleveland or he did at Miami Heat, I don't think he's in that era anymore. AD is not exactly very efficient. I mean, for me, yeah, he's been playing well this season, but I still don't think AD is that guy you really want to rely on that much. So for me, I think Lakers have the caliber of players that naturally put them up there as contenders, right?
yeah,
But when it comes to the chemistry and how I mean, I'm speaking for myself now, how things should
yeah.
be, I don't
Uh-huh.
exactly think they are contenders as it were. Same thing for the Timberwolves you mentioned earlier. They're playing very well. But you see, one of the things that I've realized in team sports is this. I'm a Madrid fan, right? And
Uh-huh.
I realized that Madrid don't exactly do very well when we have the team that looks like the best team. Check the Galactico eras, to be honest. We really didn't win a lot of Champions League,
Yeah.
right? We really didn't win a lot of leagues. But you know when Madrid really do well the most? When they have an efficient team. And that's what you probably see in the Nuggets. Everybody's not looking gang, like, badass. Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
Jovic is badass. Murray is an amazing player, but they don't look like the studded badass team.
Yeah.
But you see,
Yeah.
that
I
team
agree with
is a well-oiled machine. They are very efficient, and
you.
that is what you need when it comes to team sport.
When you have Yoki, your team is already efficient, at least to like 70
Do you
percent.
understand?
That
He
kind of
doesn't play
thing.
fancy basketball. He doesn't do any, get any wonderful this here and that. But
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna get you the assist when he needs to sit back and just dictate the play. He does that, perfectly well.
Yeah.
When he
Yeah.
needs to get all the points himself, he does that perfectly well. So what I think is gonna happen, and that's another problem I think I have with basketball. I cannot just feel like the regular season is a waste of time, to be honest,
Okay.
because what these guys do eventually is they don't go all out. They just need to be in the playoffs, right? And to be in the playoffs, you probably need to win just about maybe 50 something. You need to even win, you probably need to win about 40 games. Do you understand? So
Yeah.
they just kind of chill out, just make sure they get into the playoff. They look at the conference and say, okay, do we need to exactly make top seed? Maybe let's be in the first four. And then it comes to the playoffs, and then this guy starts to just, you know, flog everybody up.
Go
So
into
I,
their
I, I
beast
really
mode
don't like the whole style of
concept.
how, yeah, I'm not a big fan of it because it just makes it look like, some people just do very well here. And then they come to this part, and then the real guys start to play basketball because that's what really matters, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
All you need to do here is just get into the playoffs. The playoff is where you really get to win the tournament. You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So yeah, back to the question. I don't think Lakers are contenders in my books. I think Lakers as an organization, LeBron is not gonna come out to tell you he's tired or he can't do this anymore. It's a management decision. They need to sit back, look at the team, chart out the course for the next 2, 3 years. Because what's gonna happen to them eventually is if LeBron leaves today, if they don't start making all of those adjustments now, it's gonna take them probably about 3, 4, 5 years to get back to the top. However, it's a bit easier in basketball because you can get these players off their contracts, anytime you really want to. Unlike football, where players are tied into long term contracts, and it's a bit difficult for you to get them, off those contracts.
Hmm.
But I mean, bottom line basically, is I do not think Lakers are contenders at the moment. They just look
Okay.
like because they have the caliber of players that make you think they're contenders, but they're not.
Okay. Well, I'm going to come to you. Last week, you said we have to look at the surrounding guys, the guys that plays with LeBron and AD. They are not elite in offensively, right? Players like Austin Reeves. We can't measure the and I'm saying this with a little bit of sentiment. We can't measure the first 10 or 15 point guards in the NBA right now,
Mhm.
and we'll mention Austin Reeves. Let's be sincere with ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And D Ross, that one is as useless as what it is. Today is paying like someone like a monster, and the next minute you can't even see him. Same goes with Cam Reddish, Vanderbilt. We said that they got from Miami. That one has not even played in Nigerian. And you look at the roster all around like that. I'm like, these guys are not too. They are not too good. But you look at the same time, you look back at Lakers and the kind of guys they've lost. Lonzo, and like,
Mhm.
even if you
Mhm.
guys have kept a couple of these
Yeah.
players,
Mhm.
if you have kept a couple of these players and not trade them away, they are not as bad as they would think they are, you know. Or when they are playing with the Lakers, they are overwhelmed by the jersey or the presence of LeBron, quote and unquote, and they're not performing optimally at Lakers. But when they get out of Los Angeles to another team, they are playing well. you know. Olale, so what should we put this problem down to? Or what's the solution? We know what the problem is, but what's the solution? Olale,
The good thing about the NBA at times is when you create some problem for yourself. Yeah, can you hear me?
yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
said
we
the
can
good thing
hear
about
you.
NBA
Go ahead.
at times is when you create some problem for yourself. it takes time for you to not. It's not like in football when you can use money to solve the problem because it has to involve trade. There is salary issue right here and there. I think basically the Lakers team is I think one of their biggest strengths is their defense. And when it comes to defense, one thing about defense has to do with effort. So I think one of the major problems they are having is problem with effort. They don't bring in because see if you watch the game, there was a game they played the in-season tournament, not the one they beat the Suns in the semifinals. There was one they played in what do you call it?
Phoenix.
Away from home. It was played
Yeah, in Phoenix.
in Finland, the fourth quarter. If you see the way um Lakers shut down the Phoenix offense, and if you check last season against Golden State Warriors, that is what they are known for. So I think one of the problem is not the only thing. One of the problem they've been having is that I don't think some of these guys have been able to uh bring their A game defensively, and it has really. How can you explain a team that just defeated Thunders, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and what do you call it, and the Dallas Mavericks, and just a
Yeah,
day
and that was my risk.
after 2 days after to lose by 20 to the Brooklyn Nets? Of course, this is this is a disrespect to the Brooklyn Nets, but the Lakers shouldn't
But
be
the
losing
fact,
such games. So I think effort is
yeah,
one thing. I think the balance of the squad in terms of okay, offensively in the backcourt, if you want to get probably the best out of your this thing, you want to play a D-Lo and Austin Reeves together. But
hmm
defensively, it becomes a liability. So at times you have to find a way to alternate their minutes. So I think they've not been able to get the best out of this. And
okay,
just like we said earlier,
yeah,
I again the LeBron on his own too. It's already getting old. I think that's the fact. What he could do in those years when he could probably take a dysfunction team to playoffs and what do you call it? He's probably not capable of doing that again.
yeah.
For the Lakers,
Maybe
whatever it
you should move
is,
to a team like
they will
Washington
try to
Wizards.
maximize whatever year. I think that will not happen. I think the Lakers will try as much as possible to maximize whatever is left in the LeBron era, whether it's going to be 1 year, 2 years. Even though I don't see them probably personally, I don't think they could win a championship. I think
They
they
don't have
got
it.
it wrong when they traded away the bulk of their guys for Russell Westbrook. I think that
For
was where they made a mistake, and I don't see any
Yeah,
easy way back for them. I don't think they can win a championship. I think LeBron will just probably end up with that four, and it just have to live with that.
that's enough. That's enough for him.
It's enough. It's whatever you want to say. It's enough for him to be my goat. So whatever you want to say.
Well, that's your problem. I
Yeah,
mean, like my people will say, "Dear, don't call him come." Four is enough
exactly.
for him to deal with. While I mean, he can always be second fiddle to our guy. I mean,
Exactly,
Jordan is accommodating,
exactly.
and that's fine.
We're
Yeah.
never going to be second fiddle to anybody. Forget it. We are the best. Team LeBron
Well,
is the best.
it, it's
Team
difficult for
LeBron is
people
the
to like.
best.
It's always going to be difficult to accept.
Yeah.
But again, it is what it is. You really can't do much about it.
Look at the start table and come back and tell me not a guy that
That
you delusional Michael Jordan fans make it seem like he played basketball for just 6 years. Yeah, 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 yeah. A guy that cannot win a chip without Scott Pippen. I beg, go and sit down somewhere, Jerry.
it's a team sport. Nobody has said he won all of it alone.
Oh yeah,
Has anybody
but
sat down? Has
but,
anybody
but
sat down with you to say Jordan won the six chips on his own?
that's how
I don't
cheap
think
people make
anybody
it
did
seem.
that.
No. That's how delusional Jordan fan.
No,
Um,
listen.
Tuji, Tuji,
Mm,
Tuji,
mm,
go to our Instagram page
mm.
and go to the Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
check for a LeBron post or a Michael Jordan
Mm-hmm.
post and just read
Mm-hmm.
the comments. People are
Listen, Labour,
delusional.
Labour, you don't need to. So I understand how sport is, right?
Yeah,
And I've had this conversation with you before.
yeah,
Number one thing is that we always going to talk about our preference. Because
yeah,
to be
100%.
honest, there is no guideline to say this is how you determine who the best player is or who the greatest of all time is.
Yeah,
And so far there is no guide. What's going to happen eventually is we're just going to talk about our preferences. Do you
yeah,
understand what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah,
And I
yeah,
put it to you, one of the ways I make people understand how this works is so let's go to football, for example. If you ask me who the greatest player is, to be honest, I'm going to tell you Messi, right? But I'm a Ronaldo fan. And so, in the context, I'm always going to have, when we have a conversation back and forth, I'm always going to tilt towards Cristiano Ronaldo. But if you ask me who the greatest is, it is a bit difficult for you not to say it's not Messi. But I'll put it to you again, which I think you have the same opinion as me. If I now ask you who the best striker is, you're probably going to say Nazario De Lima,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
You now see that there's a bit of a contrast in all of this conversation.
yeah, 100%.
Exactly, because you now start to narrow it down again. Because for the striker conversation, I'm not picking Ronaldo because of his style, not because of the statistics you're talking about. And I've said
Yeah,
something before too. One of the very critical influence in picking who the best player is, which people don't like, but unfortunately you can never take it away, is influence. It has nothing to do with the game itself.
oh
It's got
yeah, that's
nothing to
true.
do with the game itself. But let me
That's
tell
true.
you, let me give you a funny angle, which I told you before as well.
Yeah,
If you
so
even
that
start
was
to talk about influence now, do you know that LeBron James might not even have an advantage over Steph Curry?
yeah, 100%. Yeah, I
Do
think
you
so.
understand?
Yeah, I think
And
so.
you see,
It depends on
you
it depends
cannot
on the,
take
it depends on the generation you're asking, anyways.
exactly. But in all of this generation, everybody still wants to be like Mike. And it's
Yeah,
not because Mike
Mike,
is
Mike,
just a
Mike,
nobody. No.
Mike is a great player, but
So I'm
Mike
just
is not.
saying to you that those
Mike
are the
Mike cannot
conversations.
Mike cannot
If you
do
want
Mike Mike cannot do what everything that Braun does. Braun can
to,
do everything that
but you
Mike
can't go
cannot do.
by the. I'm just saying that you can't go by the stats way
I
alone.
don't allow him to film me like what the hell is this guy saying? But Braun can do everything that Mike can do, but Mike cannot do everything that Braun does.
It doesn't make Brown the best. It doesn't make. Anyways,
That's it.
it's always going to be debatable.
Olatunji is so bad. He's so bad
Mm,
that people are now
mm.
coming with Kobe. The Kobe in the conversation, like, oh, Kobe's better than Braun. I'm like,
No. I think
calm down
Brown is the
now.
close. I think Brown is a close two. Is a close
Ah,
number two to Michael. Yeah, I
like,
think.
You
Yeah,
see,
is that bad that they're bringing Kobe Bryant into the
I
conversation?
think LeBron is a close number two to
Ah,
Michael. To be honest. Yeah.
Olale, you wanted to say something? I know we've never had this conversation on this show before,
for
ever,
me, I don't think this
ever.
conversation. For me personally, I don't think this. Sometimes I think when it comes to longevity,
Mm,
you can't take it away from LeBron.
mm. Which is
And
an
you
advantage,
look at the
anyways. Yeah.
peak of what do you call it? Of Michael Jordan's career. I
Mm-hmm.
think it has to be Michael Jordan. And for some certain reasons, I think it sometimes about something about sport is you have to look at the stories at times. It matters. Sometimes um Michael Jordan probably of course probably was very fortunate that the GMs at what do you call it at Chicago Bulls, Gerald Krause, the man that his wife was being boozed some weeks ago when they were
Uh-huh.
inducting him. They built
Yeah,
a
yeah.
very good team. One thing you have to note is, apart from Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan is but again they have a team that looks very balanced. I think the biggest what do you call it? The biggest flaw of the LeBron, what do you call it, career, I think it's still going to be the loss to the Dallas Mavericks in 2011.
Mm,
That loss was probably not acceptable, and it was
that's
due
true.
to him because LeBron probably choked at the wrong time. Like I said, Michael Jordan's story is very nice to hear. Six finals, six wins, three peats
Mm-hmm.
Six
two
wins.
times. it's very, very difficult. And you go and look at Michael Jordan's this thing. All defensively is there. You can check
Yeah.
the
Four
NBA
time
All
defensive player of
Defense.
the year.
I think
Yeah.
he won the best NBA best defender for like season. And when you talk about clutch player, I don't like. I don't think there is any star player that has been that clutch as Michael Jordan. I just think LeBron has too
Apart from
many.
Braun. Apart from Braun.
What do you call it? And I think I think unfortunately too, I think LeBron could have been better off if he has concentrated on just being a player than probably trying to be a GM. I think that has probably worked against him in some few occasions. As we saw with the Lakers, how probably he felt Russell Westbrook would have been a better fit. The same thing even in Cleveland with some couple of players that joined Cleveland, doing his things there. I think to an extent, he, I just think Michael Jordan just edged this argument, no matter how you want to look at it.
Argument. Okay.
Longevity, I'll give it to LeBron because again,
Okay.
it's insane that even in year 19 or year 20, LeBron is probably still top 20 players in the NBA.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's a whole lot to ask for from a 39-year-old. I will give him that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's like an insult if he's the second
Second.
greatest player
Yeah,
or
yeah,
second greatest player
that
of all time. I don't think that should be an insult to him.
that's what you Jordan fans always say. You don't think it's an insult. We think it's an insult anyways. We LeBron fans, we think it's an insult. We think the fact that our goats could play this long, be the highest scorer in the history of the NBA, top 4 in assists, top 6 in rebound, top top 6 in 3-pointers in the of the NBA. You know, too many records go down has gone down into this. He can do virtually everything you can ask for in a basketball player. Just makes LeBron better. And that's my person. Like Lolashi said, which is right. It comes down to personal preference. I respect Mike. I respect him a lot, but I just give Braun that
Can
edge
we
without
put this
looking at
thing in a different
without
perspective?
without looking at the chips. If I looking at if because the argument against Braun every time is he won 4, Michael won 6.
No. Those are lame arguments.
No.
No, no, no. No,
That's why I
no, no,
said
no, bro, bro.
go and
Those
look
are
at the
lame.
argument. Go and look at
You
the
don't need to
arguments
look at
against.
arguments with people that have. Yeah, we all know that a lot of people talk about sport because it's just something. Is a hot subject, not because a lot of people are passionate or they understand it.
Or they
It's just
have
like music.
yeah, what
It's just
represents.
like music too. It's
Yeah,
just a hot subject that everybody just wants to jump on.
yeah,
Do you
yeah,
understand? But
yeah.
you see, again, another angle to look at this is a complete package again.
Uh-huh.
There's an athletic side, which I've mentioned before. There's an influential side of it. And
Yeah.
then another thing we need to give LeBron time for is there's going to be a post-basketball era, which is going to be the executive side of it, which Michael Jordan has again flourished in, right? Maybe not 100, maybe it wasn't a perfect, team owner and all of those, but he's gone into all of those era. He's turned, he's been credited to be one person who's built a complete brand in Nike, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, unfortunately, some of these numbers are numbers that are going to be difficult for LeBron to again, do better than. Are we going to see LeBron bring another brand up from where Nike was to where Nike is now? Are we going to see him come into the business side of things and owning, a franchise or co-owning a franchise or probably just being a coach? Do you understand what I'm saying? So the narrative we still have a long way to go, to be honest. And there's
Yeah.
always going to be the era part of it where a lot of people didn't see Michael play basketball. So you're going to have younger people in this conversation who never saw Michael play.
Yeah.
Same like me and you. I always tell people, I never really considered Pele to be a great footballer because I didn't see him play football. I just saw some documentaries with some guy, shooting ball from everywhere and just scoring goals. So I never rated him above Belima at any point in my life. Never. He's not even close to him. Do you understand what I'm saying? But this is a guy that scored over 1,000 goals. It's going to be disrespectful for me to say Pele is not, Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah,
time, that one
yeah,
is going to come into the conversation too, and it's going to affect a lot of things. But
mm,
eventually, it's just going to come down to preference in the long run. But
yeah,
I mean, for me, I would just think Michael
yeah. Of
Jordan
course,
is actually
of
the
course. So,
greatest
so it's
basketball
two
ever.
one. Anyways, let's move
Yeah.
away from being the special one, fresh out of the Champions League. I'm the
Yeah.
special one, to calling someone specialist in failure. Now he has officially become the sacked one. He has been sacked everywhere. Has gone to Chelsea twice, Manchester United. Okay, did not it was not sacked. Real Madrid. Where else did he go to? And now Roma.
Inter
Um,
Milan. He
Inter
wasn't
Milan.
sacked in Inter.
It wasn't sacked at Inter.
He
Mourinho
wasn't
is
sacked at Porto.
it wasn't sacked at Porto. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mourinho is probably one of the biggest. He's the most interesting coach ever in the history of football. The most interesting, not the best. You see that the press is looking for Mourinho, or Mourinho is looking for the press,
Mm-hmm.
and he knows how to wind up people and make the topic interesting. Respect. Other coaches, they have three Premier League. I have three. Respect, my friend. Stuff like that. And Mourinho did a marvelous job at Roma. Before Mourinho came, Francesco was in two semifinals, I believe. Tried to vie for the league as well. Got to the Coppa Italia once, but Mourinho came and presented them their first European trophy. Following season, got to the final of another European Championship. Maybe not so much was done in the league, but there's a budget constraint as well, which is not a good argument overall. But at the same time, what he did at Roma in terms of influence cannot be understated or underrated. Um, but that being said, Mourinho has so many special moments. He's not dead. Some people will still argue that Mourinho is better than Guardiola, and anybody that says that is that you don't know anything about football, or you don't know anything about football, or you just want to be a pure hater. Either of the two. I'm not going to rate. I'm never going to come to this live to say and place Mu side by side by Pep. Pep is over and above Alex Ferguson. Alex Ferguson is the greatest. You know what that means, right? It's like, am I saying I'm the best rapper, but Jesse Jackson is the greatest? That's what it means. Ferguson is the greatest, but Pep, uh, Ferguson is the best, but Pep is the greatest. You know what I'm saying? So I feel so many special moments for Jose Mourinho, so many good remembrance of Mourinho as a coach. We don't know where he's going to go next, whether he's going to go to Portugal, whatever he does next. Mourinho will always bring you drama. But I think the perfect, or should I say, the best memory I have of Mourinho was that I think it was Benny McCarthy goal at Old Trafford in the Champions League 2003, 2004. Olale, please correct me if I'm wrong. And running from the dugout to go
Nobody.
celebrate with his players. That's my favorite Jose Mourinho moment.
2000,
I
2004, 2003, 2004.
2004, yeah. Nobody knew was going to be the special one at that particular point in time. Nobody knew that. People that understand football saw what he did a year before and that season, but nobody knew it was going to be this special. I just want you guys to it's a Mourinho time. I see Guy Lerica do this on his postcard as well, asking Michael Richard, who happens to be my favorite sport analyst in the world because of what he brings to the table, not because of just his knowledge. And I asked him, what's their favorite Mourinho time or Mourinho moment? Olali, I'm gonna put you on the spot and ask you first your favorite Mourinho moments and what you really liked about it. Olali, I think Olali is still thinking about it. Fiji,
Mourinho's,
what about
what do you call it?
yeah, your favorite Jose Mourinho moment?
Do I really have one?
Mm.
Well, probably I
Okay.
don't know. It's a bit difficult. I'm not really his biggest fan. I won't lie. I won't come here. At
Yeah,
least
I know. I
it's
know.
early days. But I think I remember when he left Inter.
Yeah.
I think the best of Mourinho was probably. I think the team that really represented Mourinho much was that Inter Milan team that won the Champions League. That team
Mm.
has all the ingredients of what a Mourinho team should have, and I think that was. But again, I think my favorite moment was when he was giving at the accounts of what happened between him and Balotelli
Apparently,
in the Champions League game away to was this Spartak Moscow when all he has none of the strikers available for him.
available.
Balotelli was on one yellow card, and Mario,
Balo,
Super
Mario,
Mario. Please don't
Mario.
quarrel
Please
with anybody. Please don't fight. We
don't
don't have
fight.
any other. As
No
in,
Milito. No
it
Eto.
just shows that at times when teams goes on halftime break, it is not
Yeah.
every time everything that is tactics that they discuss.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah,
it's just you talking common sense to
the
like
players.
just talking
The
common sense
players.
to some players' head. Like so, I think that's probably what do you call it?
Your favorite
Yeah, I
Mourinho
think that
moment.
stands out, and I think his first press conference in England. I
Yeah.
think his press conference in England when he said, "I
I
think
think I'm the special one.
Chelsea as one of the best coach in the world now." Probably, I think it it brought this thing to the English football. These drama side to the press.
Yeah.
It gave the press
Yeah.
a lot of things to discuss,
To
and
discuss. Yeah.
you know those kind of things that I could imagine if Twitter was it was a big thing in around that 2004. I could imagine how that could have trended. So I think it was
Yeah.
not shy
Yeah.
away. I think those two moments really stand out, because for that Balotelli word, it just shows that at times, like I said, coaches don't have not every time you have to talk tactics. At times you just have to
That
talk
is.
sense. And for the second one, the guy was not shy away from telling the world who he think he is.
Yeah. 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 What about you?
Well, again, I don't think I have a particular moment, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I would like to speak to, Mourinho's character.
Okay.
It's funny when people really try to say he's not a very brilliant or he's not one of the best coaches. I think it's very wrong for anybody to say Mourinho is not one of the best coaches football has ever seen. And, with different people and our understanding of how to deal with situations are quite different. And that's why it's a bit easy for people to say Mourinho is this, Mourinho is that. And I'll tell you what I mean. It's not an excuse for him to have failed in some situations, right? But I'll tell you, this is a Mourinho that I've never taken an easy job.
Hmm.
No, there is no, I mean, you tell me, there is no job Mourinho took. I mean, when Mourinho was going to Tottenham, it was a stupid decision, to be honest. What was he planning to do? When he was going to Manchester United, it wasn't the best of decision. When he was going to Real Madrid, it wasn't the best of decision. But here we are trying to compare him with the guy that left a Barcelona that was inherited from Cruyff to a Bayern Munich that just won the treble, to a Man City that had all the money. I'm not saying that takes away anything from Pep. No. You can have, I mean, we have a PSG that had all the money, all the players, and achieved
I
nothing.
think I
Uh, I think Wale was trying to say something.
Yeah, he tried to say something, but go ahead.
yeah.
Okay.
No, finish,
Okay.
just finish your
Okay.
job.
So when we do so, I personally feel like Mourinho takes all of the difficult job and he affects some of his outcome eventually. Even though that's one of the reasons why when he succeeds, he makes it very special. Just like you
Yeah.
said, what he did with Roma. But let me highlight something that people don't talk about a lot too. I am of the opinion that everything Madrid is enjoying today is the Mourinho's making. Go back to when Mourinho came to Madrid. Madrid was pretty much getting out of Champions League in second round for like 6 years.
Hmm.
Barca had taken over the league completely. Now, I didn't exactly like the way Mourinho came and changed the dynamics of the team because he affected the way some players. I mean, Casillas was our hero, and he wasn't going to play ball with him because he was the captain of the national team and needed to have a good relationship with everybody across board, which Mourinho didn't like. But guess what? Mourinho brought back every winning mentality into that team. Unfortunately, he didn't win the Champions League before he left. He only got to the semi-finals. And it's easy for people not to actually see the impact he had on that team. But immediately he left, what happened? Everything started coming
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
But it was all a function of everything he built. He brought back the winning mentality. He changed Ramos into a beast. Everybody became hungry and angry.
Hmm.
They started seeing the value in what they were, the shirts they were representing again. And they were ready to kill. You understand what I'm saying? But again, it's very easy not to see all of these things because occasionally, because of probably his temperament, he gets to leave these squads in a very, you
Acrimonious
know,
way.
exactly. So the exit is not always very beautiful. And then he kind of just kills everything he had achieved. Because I don't even think Madrid fans talk about Mourinho that much.
Mm.
We just want to talk about Ancelotti, talk about Zidane. I understand
Yeah.
those are the guys that won the trophies. But again, like I said, if imagine Zidane taking over the team when Mourinho did.
Oh my God.
You know, because the morale
Yeah.
wasn't there. These guys weren't pumped up.
Yeah.
They weren't
Yeah.
even playing
Yeah.
like champions.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's easy for all of us not to see all of those and just say, oh, you won. And don't forget, too, even the leagues he didn't win, he was having 92 points. I think there was a season he had 92 points.
Yeah.
There was a season he probably even had maybe about 100 points. But
It,
of
it
course,
just
Baka had,
it's just crazy. Those
you know,
back then, whoever wins head to head on the classical wins the league.
do you understand? Because he was just
Yeah.
down to that point. So
Yeah.
for
We're just
me,
at that point. Yeah.
I think yes, it's easy to say, oh, he's now the sacked one and all of those. I think it's a function of just the kind of jobs. It's not the kind of jobs he take, to be honest. He
He,
takes the kind
he,
of job that just makes it difficult for him to succeed.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to watch your emotions, but you know when I started, I said he called my own
I
hero,
think
specialist
no,
in
I think
failure.
this is.
Who is your hero?
I think
Arsene Wenger, of course.
I don't
Who?
agree with that.
Arsene Wenger.
One of the things I think one of the things Debo
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Lawali. We can hear you.
Jose. My problem with Jose is this. I think in life, in as much as people think Pep takes the easiest job, I think one of the best thing, what probably makes you the best at what you are doing is to probably know when and when not to take some. Think you want to do the extraordinary or you want to prove people wrong, and imagine you left Shell and to go and probably okay because I have a point to prove and it fails. I don't think it's an excuse. I think my problem with Mourinho is this. I think it uh created what do you call it a villain image for himself.
Application instinct.
This we against the world kind of image, which I think he should have like that was the image he created. He should have lived with that or trying to like make like excuse for why those things why he did those things. That's the truth. He created that image for himself. And when you create that
Yeah,
image,
but
it comes with a certain backlash or a certain repetition where people have to perceive you. And I doing Mourinho's what do you call it? Of course, Mourinho won the Champions League, he won the league, but you could look at the first two titles he won in what do you call it? He won at Chelsea. If you are not a Chelsea fan, if you're a neutral football fan, I don't think you want to remember those things for any other thing. Then Mourinho wasn't too really happy the kind of attention Pep was getting because of the kind of team Pep created. Mourinho should have lived. You won a championship with those teams because one of his major thing was he was trying to like people the press were giving Pep a kind of attention, not the kind of they don't speak much about his own success, kind of a thing. But again, that was the way he created that image for himself, and that's what he doesn't want to live with eventually. Now, for those difficult jobs, because he was desperate to prove a point,
No, no,
and
I don't think it was
that started
desperate.
from.
Do we?
I think the going back to Chelsea was not part of. Wait, this is what I'm saying. The United job came to see at that point. It was just sacked some few months back. Mourinho wanted to prove a point at United.
But don't you think he
Where
proved the point? I don't. You see, I understand what you're saying. And
at
first
that
off,
point in time, the Spurs job was a no-no at that point. He was trying to prove a point that you don't have any point to prove to anybody. You are a two-time Champions League winner with Inter Milan and Porto. You won the league in England. You won the league in Spain. Those things speaks for themselves. I don't think he has a point to prove. And in the process of trying to prove a point to a lot of people, he ended up dragging his own, what do you call it,
Image.
achievement or in that process because I don't know why he took that Spurs. That at that period he took the United job. Mourinho still has a lot of credibility. Mourinho could
are
have
we saying
taken
he
one
doesn't
or
have the
2 years
credibility anymore?
for me because one of the things that happens to Mourinho was it's Mourinho's game did not practice his own ball. No, that what I'm saying is I for me people were saying Mourinho is coaching Roma, blah blah blah. He could have done this if he was coaching a top team. There is a reason why the top teams of today are not looking at his side, and it is what it is. I think the moment he got it wrong was when he joined United. He could have taken that time to reflect on why his second stint at Chelsea, after winning the league in 2015, why they failed woefully in that 2015-2016 season. He could have taken a year off, but rather than that, he thinks he can do a magic with a United team that was going through. See, it's just like any player.
But he did magic. Don't you think he did
United,
magic? Bro, he did magic in United.
you
He did
said what?
magic in Tottenham. To be honest, except you see, except we're looking at the expectation from a different angle completely. Do you understand what I'm saying? And nobody is making an excuse to say that Pep took
No,
easy jobs. I
I
think
think
when I
this
was
year
making that statement,
you said what?
so when I was making the statement, I said it clearly too that I'm not trying to say Pep took the easiest jobs. Okay. But we can also agree that Mourinho took the difficult job. That's his personal decision, right? And I don't even think Mourinho feels sorry for the kind of life or the approach he took towards his career. Do you understand what I'm saying? And if you ask me, even all of these clubs we are saying he was trying to prove a point, he's still the most successful manager in United after Mourinho, after Ferguson. Am I correct?
Yeah, yeah.
So are we not saying he didn't do magic with, and that was a stupid crappy team,
Not as
if you have
sports.
to be honest.
Ola said not as sports. Anyways,
It was a
uh,
crappy team. He went to Spurs.
Which
Excuse
team?
me,
The
he went
sports
to
team.
Spurs. He got Spurs to the
Not as
final,
sports.
to their first final in how many years? You
Even
see,
at
you think that's not an achievement? Really?
see,
Come on.
now,
2006, 2007.
I think this is the problem
It's a
about.
big deal.
I think this is the problem about the way people perceive. Even when at United, let me
Yeah.
say, at United,
Mm-hmm.
Jose's, let me say, I won't even separate his failure or something like that. I just think
Mm-hmm.
even in the first 2 seasons,
Mm-hmm.
of course, everything was not down to him. The board has their own problem. There were some certain players I felt they would have given him the Perisic he was asking for. But even at that first season when they won the what do you call it? I think There's the problem the way people perceive what do you call it? The game. Even when he won that UEFA Cup,
Yeah.
and the second season when he brought in Lukaku, you
Yeah.
just still knew that whatever Mourinho was still building then was still not ready to compete with Pep Guardiola's Man City. And of course, what happened in the third season, everything busted. So for me, I just think he made a lot of mistakes towards the end of his career. I'm sorry, I'm not saying as in inter part of his career.
Latter
Personally, I
part
think
of
he
his
made a
career,
lot
yeah.
of mistakes. I still felt that there were some jobs he could have just avoided. That United job was not something for him at that moment in time. Probably 2013, yes,
Well, that's who
but
he
not in
is. That's the
2016.
point. That's who Mourinho is. That's what we're not getting the fact that we're not looking at things from his personality. Me, I won't take that job. Do you understand? My person, I will not take that job. But there are people on this surface of this earth. Now there they go to it.
That's what they're looking forward to.
That's what gives them joy. That's what makes them wake up in the morning and say, yeah, we go run
Again,
am.
now when you took
So
that,
it's
it's
not a
wait
problem.
now. What I'm not saying is this. Okay. Now people wants to say that now. Okay, wait. It took United job, it
Yeah,
took sports job, it took Roman
yeah,
job.
yeah.
Fine.
And he
He
succeeded in
decided to
all
do
of those
that.
jobs, to
But
be
why are people
honest.
not trying to make waste now? Why are people not trying to make mistakes like wait now? Well, it depends on what you call success.
What is success for a coach? Win trophies.
For
Bottom
me, it
line.
depends on what you call success. Now,
Bottom line for a coach is to win
what I don't
trophies.
like is now people using those jobs as an excuse to say, why can't this guy
No. We're not, it's not an
No, 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 no,
excuse.
no.
It's not an excuse.
So let's break it down. Let's
win
break it down,
about?
guys.
No,
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
like we win
Let's
trophy one
break
year
it down.
and
Let's break it down this way.
and the team is backward the second year. I
Olale,
don't think that's the
Olale,
success story.
Olasiji. Let's break it down this way. This is what Jose Mourinho is about. Whatever has transpired here, he divides opinion, and he divides opinion. That's what Mourinho does. He divides opinion between fans, his players, and everybody. It divides opinion, and that's who he is.
Yeah,
He loves challenge. He loves the challenges. He likes
yeah.
the false
The drama.
narrative. Yeah,
Yeah,
he likes the drama. Yeah,
yeah,
he likes the drama of we against the world, like Alawale said,
yeah.
which is correct. And you said about trying to thrive in difficult circumstances, right? And that's a
Yeah.
perspective I've never seen before now. Like, come think of it. Went to a Chelsea that have not won the league in 50 years, won the league for them. Went to Real Madrid when Real Madrid was difficult, And at the same time, and that's your own perspective, and at the same time, Olale is saying, okay,
I think see that
he could
Chelsea
have avoided some.
that
He could
Chelsea
have avoided,
thing, that Chelsea
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
that Chelsea team was a team that was already the trajectory for Chelsea was up there because the money was coming.
Trajectory. It
Abraham.
wasn't. It
I think that
wasn't
Chelsea was
materialized yet.
don't let us mix things up.
Let's be sincere with
Chelsea
ourselves.
was not a
Without
difficult job. I will not. That Chelsea was not a
Without
It was
difficult
a
job.
Mourinho,
It's like you
trajectory.
saying
2005, 2006 will not win the league without Mourinho.
Favour,
Without Mourinho making John
it's like
Terry,
you saying
Cavallo,
Mancini took a
Essien, and the rest
difficult job at Man
animals.
City.
What did he say?
They-
What?
that league title will have still come at the point in time with that kind of money they are spending. That's the same that happened at City. Mancini,
Yeah, but it might not be. It
the
might
way
not be
City
as.
was
It
spending the
might
money,
not be as
you
quick
knew
as
that it's
he
a
did.
matter
Are
of
you
time
trying to
before
say Mourinho should
they
not be
win the league title
credited
coach.
in
And
whatever
that's
way
what
for
would have
Chelsea's
happened with
success?
Chelsea.
It wouldn't have come that. It wouldn't have come that quickly. Like it did if they had maintained Claudio Ranieri. Ranieri wouldn't have won
Chelsea
the
was
league
not
the
a
following
difficult
season.
job. Chelsea was
It,
not a
wa-
difficult job
it was
because
a
again,
difficult job. It was a
what I'm
difficult
saying,
job.
I'm not disputing that, but
What
I'm
they
just
were
saying the
expecting.
Chelsea job at that point was not a
Yeah,
difficult job. We know one of the reason why Arsenal struggled post there was the way Chelsea destroyed the transfer market. It's on
yeah,
record, the essence of this word. The
yeah.
what do you call it? And Mourinho, and that's why when Mourinho plays the victim card of I don't have money to spend now, somebody spend more money. Oga, you did that too in 2004, 2005.
Yeah,
How
this tables
much is
tables
this
turn
guy?
and
This
things
sign
change.
Shawai Phillips?
But
Let's
Olale, hold
They
on. And
created a balance to the market. We
we're
can't
going
just
to
pretend like those era did not happen.
Olale, we're going to round up this because of time. Like you always say, two things can be right at the same time. I entirely agree with you 100% with your own perception. At the same time, I agree with Bolasuji as well with his own perception. And that's who this great man, this great coach is. A device opinion is an embodiment of wicked and genius at the same time, and it brings out the best out of his players. That's at least we can agree upon, right? Anyways, before we go, Sheffield United played a 2-2 draw against West Ham. Liverpool without Mo Salah defeated Bournemouth 4-0 away from home. Real Madrid in their acrimonious
Jota,
style defeated
Jota.
Almeria. Yeah, Jota scored 2 goals. And I think Gapo scored 2 goals as well. Real Madrid defeated Almeria 3-2. Jude Bellingham among the goal scorer with a penalty, back to scoring ways. Torres scoring an hat-trick as Barcelona defeated Real Betis 4-2 away from home. Isco scoring a brace in that game. Arsenal, not emphatic, not at their best, defeated Crystal Palace 5-0. Brentford, the guy is back. Everton is back with a classic free kick as they defeated Forest 3-2. Just before we go, Lale, what's up with the AFCON? You've been telling me about the AFCON like it's the best thing after sliced bread. It's the sound of the show. What's new? Tell us before we go on the show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, there's nothing new at AFCON to be sincere, but again, I think kudos to the host country, Ivory Coast. They've done so well. I think the organization is very, very good. One of the things AFCON have struggled with in the past, especially when they host this tournament in Sub-Saharan Africa, has always been the
Uh-huh.
quality of the pitch, which at times affects the game and what do you call it? I think the quality of the pitch has been okay. And what do you call it? The teams have not disappointed. We've had 24 games so far, and we've not had any game ending 0-0.
0-0.
If you look at the AFCON in the past few years, in
Uh-huh.
the past editions, one of the problem you see, one of the things you notice is you have a lot of games ending goalless, which makes
Yeah.
fans a little bit interested. So things
Yeah.
have been moving on fine. We finished 2 rounds of games, and we've seen a lot of what do you call lowly rated teams doing very well in this competition. Namibia got the victory
Uh-huh.
against Tunisia,
yeah,
although they lost
yeah.
today to South Africa. Cape Verde is really representing themselves very well. They have topped the group that has Ghana and Egypt group. And I think I look at some of these things and you see Mali doing very well, Burkina Faso doing very well. One thing, this FIFA's law where players who have played at under 20 level can still change their nationality to countries of their
Nationality.
origin. I think it has leveled a lot of things up in African football. If you check teams like Equatorial Guinea, if you check teams like Cape Verde, even the DRC has Gay Kakuta. You can remember him was
Yeah.
the guy that Chelsea
Former
nearly got
Chelsea
what do you call
youngster.
banned from transfer market.
Banned for,
He
yeah.
was a French under
Yeah.
21 international. I think
Mm-hmm.
he played for France at 2011 under 20s in Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yeah.
currently playing for DR Congo. Bebe, if you recall, he was a Portuguese junior international. He's presently playing for
Yeah.
Cape Verde. I think
Yeah.
this
The Manchester United flop.
as there is a way it has
Must you
trickled
say
down
that?
that in such a way that all these smaller countries. And I was very skeptical when Nations Cup was being expanded to 24 teams. To be sincere, like I was very skeptical about the quality of the games. But I
The
think
games.
the last 2 editions have really proved that yes, I think the 24 expanding its 24 team is very, very what do you call it? Has been a very
Good.
good decision.
So,
You see more
so who
teams,
are you
and
looking
most of
at?
these
Who
teams
are
have
you looking at sincerely
come
to
up
win
with
the
very
Nations
good
Cup?
teams. I
Olale,
think
yeah. Go ahead.
I think Senegal really. If you watch their first 2 games, they really stand out. Senegal, I think they are the best. But again, this is a knockout competition. Just one
Uh-huh.
bad game and it's all over.
And
But
it's over. Yeah.
from what we've seen in their first two games, I think Senegal probably is the best team, probably closely followed by Morocco. Then there are some probably 6, 7 teams that again they've not really played well, but when they get to knockout competition, these are teams that have the ability to pick things up. Algeria is there. Um, Probably Ghana is not that bad. Kudus is really. I think they gave away 2 goals for Egypt. They should have won that game against Egypt on
Mhm.
Thursday. So, but again, as it stands now, you can't look beyond Senegal and Morocco for now.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So no Nigeria. Okay. Okay. I'll go and sleep now. That's sad. I was hoping you were
Nah,
going to say, "Oh, Nigeria is part of the Nigeria is one of the part of the contenders as well." Anyways, that's the wrap of the show today.
no, no,
Till
no.
we see you again next week. My name is Laliya Ademo Ali. Don't stop on Sport. Bye, guys.